It's the Custard TV podcast, brought to you by the www.thecustardtv.com. My name is Gary. I am not the runner, the editor, the owner, the dress rehearser of the website, but I am the one in London.
I thought you said the cross-dresser.
That's quite right, Luke. I'm not a cross-dresser. Thank you for pointing that out. I'm joined as always by not as always. Well, I'm joined as always by Matt in the North. Let's do that bit. Good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, you're always here. You're reliable. And we're joined
Always
by a special
there.
guest.
I love you. Always there to whatever the song was.
Yeah. And we're joined by a special guest. Luke, welcome to the podcast for the first
long time no cast pod.
Yeah.
I had a cold. I now have the remnants of a cold, but now I don't have it fully, so I'm allowed
next
to
week
join
you.
you.
Could have a cold again.
I've had doctor's permission to join you on the podcast, as long as I don't do any of the normal heavy lifting. So,
well, yeah, if you have to sit in the corner and pretend to not do too much. Before we move on, though, I have an exciting email which I received today.
Okay.
Ooh.
Let's get this.
Is that restraining order covered?
Are you familiar with SRO audiences?
Yes.
You are.
No,
So,
I'm not.
Okay, well, let me tell you, the listener and Matt. Basically, if you want to go and see...
That means there's only one person listening to this.
And it's me.
Yeah, and Luke's mum. SR audience, as Luke knows and I will tell you, is basically where you can apply to get tickets for makings of television shows.
Okay.
So I've been to a QI taping through that and things like that. And today, because I'm on their priority list, I got an email today to say, as you are currently a priority note in our system, we thought we'd let you know that tickets are now available for this new show, Sex Box.
Oh my god, you have to go.
Sex Box is an aspirational new series aimed at spicing up the lives of British people. Presented by Belgian sexologists Godeli Likens.
Hang on, they've changed it. Who was it last time?
Mariella Frostrops.
No, it's
That's
not
it.
Mariella Frostrop. Think of the male equivalent of Mariella Frostrop. It's Welsh guy Matt Jones.
Steve Jones.
Him, yes. I got the surname right. Come on. His name's not mentioned. But there's a bit of a difference from Mariella Frostrop. It's going to be taking place at the London studios in Waterloo on Sunday the 31st and Monday the 1st. And Friday the 20th. I don't know if they're doing something tantric. It's going over 4 days.
It's an orgy, the orgy series.
Is that what I've been invited to? Because in which case I'm going to tick no.
Tube.
I'm going to tick no.
Oh, Gary, you have to go and write a piece for the website about it.
If you would like to go to Sexbox, ladies and gentlemen, you can go to SRO Recordings, probably. What's happened to Mariella Frostrop then? Has she caught something? Or...
She's inside the box.
Ah, special guest.
She's been Mariella Frostropped.
Is she like level 2?
What?
Like game. Once you've got inside the sex box, then she's level 2.
I was thinking of the.
Is she like the games master, like just a floating head, like Patrick Moore used to be?
She'll probably be in the corner going, "Game, set, open the box."
Oh dear.
Do you know that you said this is the 124th?
Yeah, and last.
How many of those have we mentioned Sex Box on?
About as many as we mentioned Deja Vu.
She was born in Oslo, Norway, by the way, Mariella Frostrop. There's your Frostrop.
Always there with the facts.
There is.
Okay.
Fact fans. There'll be more later.
Luke, Gary and Matt
Talking Telly
on the Custard TV podcast.
UK TV is launching a new channel. It was called Watch. It's now just called W. It's going to be like a new women-focused channel because we haven't got enough of them, what with Lifetime, ITVB and others.
Living.
TLC, Living.
ITV.
In general, yeah, ITV too. But they're going to relaunch that. The one thing that we know about it is going to have all of Watch's main programmes, and it's going to be the new home of EastEnders once BBC Three jumps online, and they're bringing back the Omnibus as well, which hasn't been on our screens for a fair while. There have been changes at the top of the BBC and ITV this week. Charlotte Moore, who is currently controller of BBC One, has now been put in charge of all the channels as a whole, meaning Gary's favourite controller, Kim Shillinglaw, has left the corporation as former controller of BBC Two. Shame, I liked Kim when we saw her in Midwife.
Wasn't she 2 and 4?
I think she was.
She was
two.
Well, she sort of oversaw 4, but then 4 had it set Cassie and Harrison.
Oh right.
But now Charlotte, who's in control of BBC One, has control of 1, 2, 4, and iPlayer.
Right.
So she's literally the queen of the BBC at the moment. After me saying it for a while, somebody's listened. Peter Fincham, the controller of ITV, has left the corporation to be replaced by Kevin Lygo later on in the year. Peter Fincham, Matt and I have been in his presence several times, and he's a bit more of a businessman than a TV lover, and I blame him for the
dumbing down, I think.
Dumbing down, that's what I was trying to say, of ITV of late. Their ratings this whole year have been atrocious outside of the soaps and Endeavour, which have held well, but even things that used to be big hits for them, like Birds of a Feather and Benidorm, have been terrible.
Do we know anything about the background of the new guy? Is he working for them at the moment? Or?
He is working for them at the moment on their acquisition side, but he used to work for Channel 4. He was responsible for the creation of TFI Friday, the creation of Big Brother for the first time for Channel 4.
Right.
In its original form, not the circus it has since become, but the sort of social experiment. He used to write for the two Ronnies, so he's got a comedic background. ITV hasn't had a comedy worth shouting about for a long time, so maybe he can bring that to the fore. We'll have to see. But Peter Fincham gone from ITV. Charlotte Moore now controls the entire BBC.
Well, Gary, it's time for you to go west. Okay,
that's creepy.
Yeah, no, I know, but it works on some occasions. More news this week from the what's the name of the darn thing?
TCAs?
TCAs, thank you very much. And Netflix held one of its very first TCA panels, which it announced that it's renewed Marvel Comics Jessica Jones for Series 2. It also revealed new dates for Kimmy Schmidt Series 2 and Orange is the New Black for later this year. And also announced that Kimmy Schmidt is coming back, or the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt is coming back for Series 3, which I think is great. Considering it's not yet been shown, means that I think it must be strong. Rumours abound, in fact it's pretty much in production, that 24 will return, but without Jack Bauer. Now, or Keith Sutherland. Now, there were rumours of them...
Why, he's not in it either? That's two people they've lost.
Two people, Jack Bauer and Keith Sutherland, not in. It's a big loss to the show. This was rumoured a few years ago that they would do this. I think around about Series 7 they were planning on having a series without Keitha, and it never happened. And then, the recent sort of mini-series remake didn't exactly go down a storm. We talked last week on the podcast about the returns of things like the X-Files and Prison Break and Heroes. Sexbox, yeah, we didn't talk about that, but we have now. Would either of you watch a 24 without Jack Bauer in it?
No.
No.
I mean, I think really it's...
Not that I was a massive Kiefer Sutherland fan, but he was...
Yeah, why call it 24? I know we were talking about this, I can't remember now what the show was, where... Was it Ordinary Lies we were saying?
Ordinary Lies, yeah.
Where it's like, why call it the same show when none of the original... Unless they bring in maybe Chloe or someone else, one of the established characters. There's no point why you're calling it 24, because without your main character, you just...
And everybody is destined to... compare anybody who takes the lead role to Keith. They don't stand a chance, do they?
Well, they've announced it, haven't they?
They have announced it. It's in production, so...
No, but the guy who's taken over from Kiefer.
Yeah, well, it's a guy and a team, I think they've decided to go with. Although there will be a lead actor, there is also a team.
So they've announced the lead actor.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I've literally no interest in this.
No, I think that's the problem. It's like we were saying, the Heroes Reborn remake has been cancelled. We've got no interest in this. It's... Some things are interesting, some things just are passing us by. We talked about BBC Two earlier, and they've purchased an American show. It's called American Crime, The People vs. O.J. Simpson. Now, quite a few famous people in that playing real-life people that were involved in the O.J. Simpson trial. I mean, the lawyers, the friends, O.J.
Can you name any of these really famous people?
Now,
just because I've missed this.
Yeah. No.
I know that David Schwimmer is playing Robert Kardashian.
That's right, Kim's dad. It is.
Oh, I thought Robert Kardashian was Kim's brother.
No.
No, that's Rob Kardashian.
Yeah.
You can see why I'd meant.
Yeah.
Well,
he's probably junior, isn't he?
I know
Probably
you've only
Robert
been away for a
Kardashian.
week, but get your Kardashians right, or get off.
I know. I used to know it all well
Keep up
before
with
this
your
cold.
Kardashians, as they say.
Yeah, as the show is rightly called. This is now on the back of Making a Murderer. Although this is not, I mean, this is obviously a televisual program as opposed to a documentary. But this is a real trial that gripped America and the world.
This
I
isn't
remember
on the
watching
back
this.
of Making a Murderer, because this was,
No, I'm
conceived.
saying on the back of the furore around it. This is true crime as opposed to. But I mean, this was more Hollywood than anything
isn't
else.
it not Ryan Murphy who did American?
Yes.
Oh, you've just
Horror Story.
turned it off me now.
I think he's executive producer. I don't think he's written
I
it,
hope
but
he's
he's
not done
involved.
anything. I hope he's not actually touched.
Well,
the
no one's
script.
writing it. It already happened. They don't have to write it. It happened. No.
Well, yeah, no, it doesn't work like that, unfortunately,
No?
Gary. But,
No,
yeah.
I
They
don't
just
think
put a
he's
camera
had
on
a
and
hand
go.
in writing it, but he owns the rights to the American / story thing.
Oh
Is
god,
John
I
Travolta
hope.
in it?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, John.
Is
Yeah,
it?
I remembered one. John Travolta. There you are.
Playing
Yeah.
O.J. Simpson in a bit of bold casting. Cuba Gooding Jr. is playing O.J. Simpson.
Oh, again, I've just gone off it.
Show me the money.
Dear.
No, Ryan Murphy's only exec producing. It's Scott Alexander and Larry Karazaski who are the two
Well
creators.
pronounced. Well pronounced. Right. I've come back east. Hope you enjoyed the trip. It's now over to my favourite part of the show. I hand over to Matt in the north, and he says something greeting-wise. Matt.
You're right, Gary.
Oh, I've missed that. I
Dance,
came
monkey,
back to
dance.
that on its own. Dance, magic, dance.
No, I refuse.
I found my baby.
Maybe the thing I like about you.
As
Anyway,
hard as
it's
he
5
can
letters.
go.
5 letters, 2 syllables. Get on it.
Before we do that,
Oh.
I love how this is his favourite bit of the podcast. He has so
that
many
shows
low
who it's got.
expectations.
It's quickly becoming my least favourite part of the podcast.
It just shows how low we've sunk, doesn't it? A couple of weeks ago, I was with some family, and they
family
somehow
Your family again.
Yeah.
just some family, and they know that I do this as a bit of a hobby and been to things, and they said, "What TV show would you recommend?" And I've had this a couple of times where you sort of know what they might like, but your mind goes blank because you're supposed to know everything about TV. You've
Yeah.
got to come up with a good
Yeah,
one.
like
You don't
people
wanna...
ask me this as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get this occasionally, yeah.
And I was trying to think, is there a show that is perfect from beginning to end? So, like Luther, for example, really enjoyed the 3rd series. Don't go anywhere near that special because it just confuses things and ties in knots. Sherlock, really enjoyed the first 2. 3rd series was a bit self-indulgent. Special recently was a load of tat. Shameless is really good up until when the Gallaghers aren't the focus anymore.
Wire
Friends-
was good in the first 4 seasons. And
Yeah,
left
The
fifth.
Wire 4, 5
Oh,
wasn't so
I'd
good.
say, and half the 5th, it's when they get away from the newspaper and start.
Hey,
getting
Luke hasn't seen
fundamental.
it yet. Luke
I haven't seen the 5th yet.
Well,
I'm pleading the 5th. How I Met Your Mother, people said the 9th series wasn't so good, and Matt said the 3rd was one I should have lower expectations for. So is there a show that's perfect? Now, I've done some research into this using my brain
uh-oh.
and my DVD collection. I think people would disagree with this. I think comedy-wise, Gavin and Stacey is pretty solid from day one, because I even watched the first few episodes today to make sure I'm right, and it has a great sense of who the people are right from the beginning. The Office as well, the original UK version, pretty solid from episode 1 to the final Christmas special. Him and Her, Matt and I enjoyed that. Comedy
Took a
wise,
while
I think.
to get off its feet, didn't it?
Yeah, but
me
I
and you
think
were both the first episode. Me and you.
I don't
Well,
think
yeah.
you can include a first episode because I think a pilot is very different to the rest of
No, but we are going perfect from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And I also would lump Joe Brand and Joanna Scanlon and Vicky
Yeah,
Pepperdine's.
getting on.
Well,
Getting
I've
on
got a
into
comedy to add
Okay.
into there. The
Go
IT crowd. I don't think that ever dipped, and that I rewatched that final episode again recently, and it was brilliant.
No, I disagree, only because there's a lot of it I don't even remember.
I don't think that means it wasn't good start to finish. Just because your memory's poor. There's Gary.
I know, pot, massive pot, humongous kettle.
Black.
And I can't think of a drama, because a drama's really difficult.
Drama's
I said
really
Line of
hard.
Duty.